Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome to another video brought to you by Total Control Traders. Now, I'm going to do an extra video today just to cover some of my thoughts on the market. Some slight red flags is showing up in the market, and we're going to go over what I am seeing. Perhaps let me know what you're seeing, if there is something different. But yeah. Let's get right into it. And also, we switched up the hottest tickers today. Amazon is now beating Tesla. Tesla has remained on that list for on the top of the list for quite some time. It's going to remain on the list for now just because it's potentially bearish play, and the sign was yesterday. So let's take a look at the market, why I say that there is potential red flags, and we're going to do a market deep dive, try to keep today's video relatively shorter. There are some tickers I wanted to cover, potential opportunities. All right, let's get right into it. First one, SPX. So yesterday, actually the day before, spinning top, and we talked about it on Sunday's video covering... Sunday's video covering how this is potential of a shooting star, and the Monday was a... This Monday? Today's Tuesday, right? Okay, yeah, I always get confused on this. Okay, yeah, so yesterday was a spinning top candle, and today we are seeing a little bit of follow through. So according to yesterday's video, we wanted to see what today's action looks like. If there's a little bit more bearish pressure with follow through, then that could be a first sign of potential red flag, and wanted to do a follow-up video on that. So as we've discussed on this whole way up, 8-hour 8 is the first guide. Okay, well, I guess ultimately the 4-hour 8 should be the first guide, but as you can see, we did chop around it for a couple times here, lost it once here, lost it back once back here, and now we're losing it again. 8-hour 8 has only been lost once on this whole way move up since that GP bounce, and it lost one, so it's immediately bought up. So then this next candlesticks, I would say this next two candlesticks is very key to see what the price action looks like on these next two candlesticks. If we see buying up, then potentially there is further upside to come, which will bring us to that 1-to-1 extension target of 47. Can't see it, 47.87 right here. But the reason why I think there is red flags showing up is a couple things. As mentioned in the weekend, was it the weekend video? Yeah, weekend video, that this was the most significant bear pressure on Friday on that 30-minute candle that we have seen since the beginning of this move. And today, if you look at this candlestick, minus 0.66 in 30 minutes. This is minus 0.46. So the bear pressure is really coming in now. And on the 30-minute, we are seeing a lower low being formed. On the hourly, we are also seeing, so this was a wedge, the top wedge, wedge at the top of the trend. And now we're seeing a bear break, potential follow through here in the after hour. And the third red flag that we're seeing is a loss of 8-hour 8. So let's see what the next two the next 16 hours minus 2, so next 14 hours look like. That should give us a very clear signal, but based on this volume, very significant. Last time we saw anything close to that in bearish volume was near just around that GP before the beginning of the bounce. Right, let's take a look at NAS. Actually, we're going to skip the rest of the market. The rest of the market is going to be the same. It is a market-wide pullback. That's the other thing. The other thing I noticed today, that the pullback that happened today was a market-wide pullback. Regardless of which ticker you're looking at, it has some sort of pullback during that bearish price action. So that is a cause for concern. The other thing that I was looking at, and I shared this a while ago, I believe I discussed in the video as well, that if we were to see a pullback from here, that could prove to be a very concerning chart, or what's to come, because there is a weekly bear divergence now. If we were to pull back from here, we wanted to see the chart negate, just keep on running to that 1-to-1 extension target, and it should negate this bearish divergence. But so far from the looks of it, this weekly bear divergence is potentially playing out, and we will be able to know by the end of the week, potentially even before the end of the week, depending on what the remainder of the week bear pressure looks like, or the next day. Yeah, tomorrow, like I said, 16 hours, right? So this, why is this very significant? Because this is the first weekly bear divergence ever since the beginning of the pandemic run, and we have ran 116% on SPX in year and a half? No, over a year and a half. March. Year and 8 months. 1 year and 8 months. So that's 20 months, and we ran 100 and whatever, 18% or whichever. But anyways, this is a real concern that I'm looking at. Okay. Now let's take a look at the other indicators. US dollars is trading near that high. Slight pullback, looks like it's potentially forming a daily higher low. We're going to want to see whether this 93.8826 holds. The lowest I want to see is obviously this low being held. But as US dollar makes high, that is new highs, that is a concern for the market. So that's proven. Red flag number 2, I guess, ultimately, on the market deep dive video kind of thing. All right, and this is red flag number 3, as we were discussing, as we discussed in the weekend video. I don't know if we talked about it in yesterday's video, but the US 10-year yield has been dropping, and we did lose that key trend line again. So that's red flag number 3. Gold is rising. Everything is lining up for the market to pull back. Even though, so one thing to keep in mind is pulling back, reversal, whether it's bearish reversal or bullish reversal, it will take some time to show. Let's see. So the last time it's only a 3-day drop, so it's not really a consolidation or correction. It's more so a consolidation. This is a consolidation as well, but as you can see, next day it popped back up before the actual drop comes back down. Same with this, there is an Ethereum pop as well before the actual big drop. This one, ooh, that really dropped, eh? So exception. And then there's another pop here as well, another pop in the middle. So generally the market will not, it is stairs up, elevator down, but it should give an opportunity for you to exit on the lower high instead of a huge drop down. Now there is that potential due to that weekly bear divergence, and yeah, so that's the market. All signs are lined up, and that is somewhat of a concern that I have exited most if not all of my bull positions today. I want to see what this 8 hour plays out first. Give it 16 hours, actually 14 more hours, then we will know. If we see continued pressure, that is the time to exercise caution. Okay, so that's the market. Let's get into the hottest tickers. Bitcoin, new all-time high as we were making video yesterday. Seemingly a little bit of a lack of follow-through so far. Weekly is trying to confirm early, so I can see this coming back down and touching that weekly 8 first. Don't get too excited, bulls, yet. Bulls, don't get too excited yet. So on the weekly, yeah, it's looking great for continuation, but it does need to slow down a little bit first. If we're to pull back, regardless of from here or even from that 1-to-1 extension target, we will see a weekly bear divergence on Bitcoin as well. And when that comes, I do believe that is going to mark the actual top versus the 64,854 temporary top on the weekly chart. Okay, so it is relatively longer term as well. All right, next one is HIVE. There we go. Just realized I forgot to turn the room's light on and my face is like overexposed with light. Anyways, okay, HIVE, huge sell off today. We did get to that previous all-time high zone and lots of profit taking. Now if you look at this wicks from back here, there's gonna, same idea, there's gonna be a lot of bag holders from back here. They're gonna want to get out break even or get out with green, and that's why we're seeing a huge part of the reason why we're seeing a huge profit taking today. We did come back to touch that daily 8. Dark cloud cover to the max. Wow, I've not seen this kind of candle in quite some time. Dark cloud cover to the max. Based on the candle, today's candle and the volume and the close, I would anticipate further downside to come, but I guess it's going to depend on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin continues, this downside could see a pause. Based on the chart alone, I would anticipate lower prices come on HIVE. All right, next is hottest tickers. Amazon. First one, Amazon versus the normal first one, Tesla. Ooh, this chart is looking damn sexy. As we've talked about multiple times, the double fake out pattern. New all-time highs on the horizon. It is defying gravity. It is defying the market. Low consolidation volume. Huge continuation. Not too far extended on the daily yet. Not overbought on the daily. Are we overbought on the 4 hours? No, we're not. Hourly is not overbought either. The chart is so ready to see continuation. Only problem with it is if the market does see consolidation continuing, the bears continue to be in control, I would anticipate that is gonna stall Amazon. But the chart itself looks great, looks amazing. New all-time high. Let's mark that zone. By the way, just for those of you that are wondering how I draw the second line aside from the all-time high line, is depending on where the resistances are coming from. Most of the time I will use the green candle's highest close. So I mean, just highest close and the highest price. That's how I draw the all-time high zone. And it's up to you. There's no rule around it either. So with this, yeah, chart looks great, but it's gonna be depending on what the market does. Amazon gonna remain on top. Watch. And the reason why Tesla, next one is Tesla, is still on this hottest ticker, because there's bearish side to be played. All right, look at the volume today. Look at that price action today. Somewhat of a dark. It was gap up. So yeah, I would call this dark cloud cover. Huge bearish pressure going straight back down to 1200. Now, there is a high potential of continued downside. What I would anticipate is at the very least a revisit of this previous resistance trend line. And how come it doesn't seem to line up with much anymore? Let's see how this was drawn. So I guess short term wise, there is a... Wow, that chart is messy. To clean this up. This alert was from a long time ago, eh? Alright, there we go. Looking a lot better now. Resistance, previous all-time high. Okay, let's see what that short-term trend line looks like. Shorter-term trend line. By the way, I really love this function. Thank you, TradingView. Amazing. Doesn't work out that well. Trend line in the trend line in the trend line. That is way too many for my liking. Anyway, so we will keep this long-term trend line where we saw multiple bounces here, multiple bounces from back here as well, and then another bounce here, and rejection here. It didn't touch while it was in the channel, which is, I find, a little bit bothering. But regardless, I will be watching for a back test of this trend line. So anticipation, you know, we did see a little bit too much of a bear too soon. So tomorrow I would anticipate an inside bar kind of thing coming back down. A inside bar for a few days before coming back down kind of thing. All right, so that's what I would anticipate on Tesla. Next one is Rblx. Congrats, Rblx bulls. Wow, look at the earnings. It's red as hell. Minus 200% surprise, as well as 20% negative 20% surprise on revenue. Why is it gapping up and continue buying? Now let's take a look. So in case you're not aware, on the side tab of TradingView, so on the side tab here, if you click on the third one, you will be able to see news. And based on what the news is saying, is shares surge after Q3 net loss narrows on higher sales. So that is definitely a plus for a majority of the investors. Higher sales is gonna ultimately increase the forward-looking revenue as well as sales, or was it earnings and revenue. Yeah, and that's why I'm thinking, that's why, of course I'm not the fundamental guy, but I'm thinking that's why that we're seeing a huge gap up with continuation of running. And based on this chart, based on the volume today, look at that volume, same as IPO volume. Based on the chart and the volume, I would anticipate higher prices to come. Now again, all-time high close and previous all-time high, that is the all-time high zone. We blasted straight through it today. I'm gonna have to set an alert on this, on the back test of this previous all-time high. Would be looking for a potential entry. Only same as usual, there's a concern of the gap left behind. And I'm seeing a clear support resistance here as well. So multiple supports, support again before breaking down, became resistance, rejection, rejection again. So that $90 point mark, we could, if we were to see gap fill or coming close to gap fill and doesn't gap fill, I would anticipate a bounce from that $90 mark. And based on fibs, I don't think the run is done yet. A little bit more before coming back down, so the GP will line up with that $90 resistance. All right, so that's Rblx. Keep it on top watch for at least this week, most likely going into next week. If you're not in yet, watch for that higher low. Next is AAL. Now AAL did not have a crazy move today, but the reason why I decided to put it onto hottest tickers, and not many people are watching it, but the reason why I decided to put it onto hottest tickers is, you looking at this chart, there's a key resistance here, multiple rejections, a support from back here, support, rejection, rejection again at that 2212 mark. Okay, and we are trading over it with lots of lower wicks. So the chart is telling me something is going on. A little bit of concern is big bearish pressure, decreasing bull volume. But the lower wicks are telling me that there's going to be higher prices come. So we're going to have to watch for where the daily higher low comes in at. We blasted through GP. We blasted through the previous high. There is new highs, so daily trend change is now confirmed. This is a higher low comparing to here, and this is now a higher high. So looking like it's forming a daily bull flag. Give it another 3 to 4 days, likely the beginning of next week. We should be, if it stays in this range, it is going to be confirmed a bull flag, and we'll be looking for higher prices come on AAL. So one of the top potential charts, one of the top charts with highest potential that I am looking at, AAL. Alright, so that's it for the hottest tickers. On to the requested tickers. First one is going to be PYPL. Ooh. Oh, requested by BBQQ. Look at the volume. Look at the gap down. Look at the gap down continuation straight into previous support resistance. Don't like this one. Yeah, I don't like this one as much. Sorry, I was talking about the just talking to myself about the support resistance. I like it back here more. Way to go. No. Right here. It's not right either. Okay, so this might work, you know, chopped around, support right here, support again, chopped around again, support again. So it's not a significant area, but when I look at the chart, because of how I broke this key support resistance at 208.93, we did close down under at 205, and after ours is down again at 203.88, I would anticipate a touch of that key zone. We are a little bit extended on that daily, but if you look at this chart, you know, it's it tried to base at that key zone, that previous key zone. It tried to base there, but it was unable to. There's no bulls. It was unable to break over that daily 8, and then earnings, huge gap down, continue selling with big bearish pressure. The daily is reaching that oversold area, so I would really like, you know, when you're trying to play a reverse trend and you're looking to play a bounce, actually maybe we should keep that somewhere right here, and you're looking to play oversold bounces, which is reverse trend, you want the conditions to be just right. Meaning, you're going to want to see every single thing lining up. Ideally, you want to see at least 4-hour oversold. Most ideal is going to be daily oversold. So it looks like the bounces started a little bit on the 4 hours. There is no divergence. That's one thing that I look for personally when I try to play over bounces. I want to see that bear divergence. No bull divergence. There's no bull divergence on 30. No bull divergence on the is this bull divergence? No, I wouldn't call it bull divergence. No bull divergence on the 15. We are seeing trading over 15, a slight bounce over it. Daily, meh. If I were to play oversold bounce here, I would be looking at 191.81 as the potential price to play oversold bounce at. Given another couple days, this is the first day reaction of the earnings. And then on the bounce, we'll be looking at gap fill at the very minimal. So that would be the anticipation on PYPL PayPal. Next one is LCID, a very hot ticker, getting constantly requested. Lucid. And I love the ticker. As I mentioned, I saw the brick and mortar storefront while I was in Vancouver, and was it shiny. Lucid, lots of backing from what I'm reading, lots of backing from Saudi Arabia, and it's also one slight concern because supposedly they own like 63% of the stock or something. So let's see if it's actually a low float. Oh yeah, I forgot. Can't check it out on here. Anyway, so Lucid, sentiment, earnings is coming up. Sentiment, personally, I do believe higher prices are to come, and we will see new all-time high on Lucid. Whether that's going to be before the end of the year or a little bit longer, but ultimately, I think huge trend change on the break over this trend line, and we saw a huge run, gap up and run, and then both leg early confirmation and run. So early confirmation and confirmed, that is very significant. And if we were to look at it, it's not really respecting the previous support resistances, so it makes it a little bit hard. I mean, ultimately, the good thing about it is there is a lack of support resistance as well. We are having trouble with this GP right now, and I did take my position off today. No daily bear divergence, so that's great. Earnings is coming up. Is that next week? Next Monday? I think it's gonna do great. I'm just waiting for that daily higher low. I want to see where that daily higher low comes in at, and then determine. As the way it stands, best of course is going to be bouncing from 0.382, which is, as we can see, the resistance is here. I was unable to this somewhere around this zone. Let's make a clear picture for you guys. So somewhere around this zone, we can see a wick rejection, another rejection here before complete breaking over. So that's a slight, it's not a traditional zone that we usually look at or how we draw it, but 0.382 would somewhat make sense. The 0.5 would make sense again because we see multiple rejections here, rejection here again. So 0.5 right around lining up with that support, $35. That would be the most ideal first re-entry. All right, so that's Lucid. Next one is Uber. I haven't taken a look at this chart in a long time, and as you can see, the chart is quite messy from before. Hey, wow. This was the anticipation from all the way back in September 22nd. Anticipated a little bit of higher low bouncing from that 0.5 to that key zone. Ultimately, it did not see the higher low. Actually, it did, but a little bit later. Higher low and then bouncing to that key zone and triple rejection. Now it's a triple top. 48.74, 48.84, yeah, 48.88. So it is ultimately a triple top, and we are seeing a little bit of follow through here. Earnings did see a gap up. Big lower wick today. Kind of interesting. Let's see. I am seeing somewhat support resistance here. Let's see if this works out. Say we were to draw here. So we can see multiple supports. Another support. The line right there. Okay, that works. So key support 43.23. We did close down below it. Earnings bought it back up, but we did see a double top, triple top. So it's in the choppy area. What I would do if you're looking for an entry is set an alert on the high here, above the high here, and below the low here. And once that breaks, it should give you clear direction. The only problem is if we're to break under, there's, I guess, more room, potentially more room than the upside. If we're to break under, there is a key zone not far down below, so it will not give too much opportunity. GP never met. Actually, yeah, GP never met. 0.5. Nope. Okay, it's not respecting fibs too much. So it's falling short of the 0.5. So if we're to break over this triple top, the 0.5 and the top of key zone is coming up as well. Choppy chart, would avoid touching it for now. No clear trend. Yeah, no clear trend either. All right. That's it for the requested tickers. Next are just a few that I wanted to cover. Let's do it. Wow, it's 30 minutes already. Let's do it relatively quickly. So MJ still going to be remaining on top watch. We are seeing, so just as an example today, the market pulling back, but CGC seeing continuation. Earnings was green. Daily bull divergence, amazing for continuation. We're going to need to see a break over 1465 for that daily reversal confirmation. And next is TLRY. We saw dip being completely bought today. The one red one of the bunch is Quran. Huge run yesterday. Too much too soon. Gap down and sell off today. We did hold at 88, so we're gonna have to see what tomorrow looks like. And VFF is setting the tone for what MJ's earning season may look like. It did see a very nice earning, 146% surprise on earnings, as well as revenue of 5.26% surprise, positive green. And from here we see a break over that key resistance, break over that trend line, increasing bull volume, should see continuation. This is a daily trend reversal. We broke over that 9.04, closed over it. Now we're gonna have to see, ideally we want to see another day or two of continuation before coming back down to form a daily higher low. But the chart is looking sexy as hell. Alright, so that's MJ. Next is FCEL. So very notable that the dip is being bought today on FCEL, and we should see continuation. But we're gonna need to break over that 1131 first, and you know, it's a relative strength to the market, so something to keep on your top watch. FCEL, GME, I want to say Amazon, no, Rblx, maybe Amazon is going to be top watches going forward. While we're on the topic of FCEL, let's take a look at QS. Same idea as FCEL. Chart looks amazing, dip being bought. And GME. So GME, daily bull flag, but today is a dark cloud covering. We're gonna have to see what tomorrow looks like. Ideally, we want to see that reversal from here to confirm that daily bull flag. It is low bear volume. Gonna need to see that bull stepping in from here. I do not want to see a back test on GME. I don't want to see a back test. No, this has been a long enough wedge. Let's go. All right, top watch, GME. Do it. Don't confirm the dark cloud cover, please. All right, next is PLTR. The reason why we're covering this one is we did talk about the head and shoulder potential, and we are seeing that playing out from the earnings. Big bear volume coming in, huge gap down, and continue selling off. We did close slightly, I guess, depending on how you draw it. Could be here. We're just right on that neckline right now. If we were to lose this neckline, I would anticipate at the very minimum the low of the key zone, which is previous higher low, daily higher low at 2055. So this is what I'm looking at for PLTR. Sold the position, took the profit today early on, and not looking back. Tomorrow, if we see continuation, and there's lots of room to move. If we see continuation tomorrow, that is potentially gonna be real bad. We could be seeing as low as this previous support, $17. All right, next, last but not least, is Piton. I feel like I'm talking a lot and talking really fast, but as the videos are getting really long, much longer than ideal. All right, so Piton, we did see potential double bottom. Is this 49.11, 48.93? Right now is somewhat of a double bottom. There is still a potential gap. Sorry, bounce play here. This is a very notable previous resistance at 49.67. Psychological support of 50. It doesn't seem to be respecting it, but I would anticipate, based on how far extended we were, and now we're oversold on the daily, 18.37 on RSI. We could go down lower, so we could go down to the key zone before a bounce. But this is a very nice area to give it a try. And if the double bottom were to be broken under, bearish coming in, then that will be your stop out. So that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. And if you know anyone who may potentially benefit from the content we provide, please consider sharing our channel to your lovely friends and family. Again, quick reminder, 250 subs, we'll have a giveaway. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.